Was that we went live?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm just standing here being quiet.
Well, I thought it was a good point because Danny was missing and then he just came in.
Then he showed up.
Are we live? Hello.
Hello. We are live. Yeah, we are. So, you know what happens when you read your calendar a week ahead?
Yeah, you get a week off.
Oh, okay.
Something's a week
See you guys
behind,
later.
Something's a week ahead.
Oh, not that kind of off.
Oh,
I feel like Denny burn coming on.
It's going to be this whole stream. Well, we aren't doing a bar stool. You are sitting on a bar
I'm
stool,
sitting on one.
but we're not recovering one because we have tools for another project. So this week is going to be this project, and next week will be bar stools.
And then the week after that, probably we'll be back to this.
I don't know.
Or
Depends
what?
on. No, we'll do this one on Wednesday and Friday. So we'll do the saddle repair and talking about saddle and tack. We'll do that for a week.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to bar stools. And then I think we're to a bowling bag. A bowling ball bag.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I can see you're thrilled about it. Look at all these tools I got on the table. Chad, go to that overhead camera. We got some tools here. Some of them we didn't have to use because I already used it and tore most of the saddle apart already.
Yep. Some of them we'll never have to use. But I just brought them because I didn't want to run back and forth.
Yeah.
But I'll have to anyway, I'm sure.
Well, Chad and I did a stream, and man, I left the room so many times going to get stuff. It's a good thing to have you back in here so that we're prepared. But we got some different tools that we might be using that you might tear a saddle apart, or tools that I did use when I did tear them apart. We got some scissors, some duck bills, hammers, pliers. We could cut nails
Nail
off.
pullers.
Yeah. We could pull nails out, or we could just cut them off if we can't get them off and hammer the nail back into the tree.
Punches.
Punches and cutting
French
some
edger.
French edger to cut some stitching out. Get underneath and cut some stitching out. Get it all out of the way. Here's what we had, though. Here's the saddle that we had. Little bitty kid's saddle. I didn't measure the seat. What kind of measuring we got on it? I should have a tape measure next to you. Oh, it looks like it disappeared.
Good have.
But I don't.
Here.
What, about a 12-inch?
Yes.
Yep.
That's what I would call it.
So just a little kid's saddle. Had seen better days. The seat, we're going to recover the seat, which we didn't do last time we did a saddle repair. We didn't do a seat, but we're going to recover the seat. So we'll show taking the rest of that off. Took off the
Cannel binding.
cannel binding. Where's the Cheyenne roll?
You're holding it in your hand.
Look at that. I can call it cannel binding or Cheyenne roll. Other parts we took off.
Front seat jockey.
Front jockeys. Here's our seat pad that we had. The pad is not so much there was a little bit of padding, but it looked about like that.
Actually, we used to just call those a quilted seat, not a padded seat. But people started thinking the pad was supposed to help them, but it's just fancy.
It's a bumpy ride sometimes. And then
Back jockeys.
and our
Skirts.
and we need to reline them. Not going to do that in this part. We may end up cutting this part out, but what we're really looking to do is clean these up a little bit, and we got a pan full of water out there, and we're going to show you how to flatten them back out so you can get things flattened back out. Oh, how about our stirrup leathers and stirrups, fenders. They're still a little bit rough. This wouldn't be a normal saddle that we'd probably repair, and the reason we are doing it is because it has sentimental value. This was the lady's first saddle that she had when she started to learn how to ride. One thing that we're probably not going to do is not do the tappet arrows.
Yeah, we won't.
Because they need to be stitched in the middle. And you were saying that you stitch those when they're flat?
Yeah, yeah. Those would have to be hand stitched now, and that would be pretty time consuming.
Yeah. We all know how Denny's strapped for time. All right. Well, we want to move some of this stuff out of the way. Chad's got our questions up there, so if you guys have questions, this is what we're going to be doing. If you have questions about bar stools, you can ask them too, but we're going to do saddle.
I would say the first thing we need to do would be to get the lining out of those skirts.
Okay. You want your coffee? I'll set your coffee all over here. I feel like you're sitting in the corner. You want to come over here a little bit further? So
I like the corner.
okay. Here,
How's this? I'm over here with you.
Let me take my pad, my foot pad with me. All right. How you been doing? This is your Monday.
Yes, this is Monday for me. I've been doing well. Hard to come back. I generally have 3 days off a week and 4 days on. That's what I did this week. So a lot of times I'm real confused on my Monday.
So we've got the front camera, we got an overhead camera, and then camera 3 is our close-up one. The other one's on the water down below. So that's not going to work out. What do I got going on here? What do I need? I got my stitching that's still kind of around there.
All right, here's what I would do.
Okay.
Since this sheepskin is pretty brittle, I'll just go ahead and pull it off like that.
People are trying to come in, which would mean that we probably haven't plugged our light in. We'll see how many people we can get to join us in here. I think Tony should do a sippy sip today. I'm good with it.
Yes.
I got my coffee over there too.
And
Do we need to say
bring
that?
that back. Let's talk about that.
All right.
They've used on this saddle, in most inexpensive saddles, they'll do stuff like this, but they used a piece of cardboard for instead of cutting an actual plug for these skirts. But we're going to throw this cardboard away.
What would a plug be to help
A plug
rigidity?
is just a stiffener. Yes. And this, they even made the skirt in 2 pieces, which is not desirable, but they did it, and we're just going to have to deal with that.
Okay.
But the way I would, and I'm going to let you do this, but I'll start. I would just take this French edger and kind of cut those stitches off.
Now you have that nice and sharp and polished.
Yes.
Okay. That way when I stab myself, I can draw a lot of blood instead of just a little bit?
Well, yeah, and it won't hurt near as bad.
Okay. Liz asked me this morning if I was excited about this video. I guess maybe she thought I was doing a different video. I'm not really sure. I got some coffee over here, Chad. Thank you.
All right.
I don't know if does that even have any water in it?
I don't know, but
Pardon me.
Chevy guy reviews.
Oh, I don't have a camera that's close up on me.
Lil Fair says, wasn't Denny a saddle maker back in the day? Back in the day, yes, I made saddles for about 30 years.
I don't have a cool cup like Liz though. It's hard on that part where they stitch it together.
Actually, if you would have come back the other way instead of going against that cut,
Okay.
it might have been a little easier.
Well, I still got a little bit that's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay. Now do I want to take these out too, or are we just going to go through
I
them?
wouldn't worry about those.
Okay. I'm going to create quite
Ideally, when you're doing this, you should pull all the stitches from the front side too. We'll see what it looks like. Get that part done.
Now we're grooving.
Yeah. Some parts of it will cut easy, some will be kind of tough, like you just discovered. But the part that's up here where it's not going to be seen is not too important anyway.
Okay.
I mean,
Did you repair a lot of saddles too? Is that where you kind of
that's
started?
where most people don't realize the saddle maker's bread and butter is from repair work. I mean, unless you're world class and getting $20,000 per saddle, you generally can't make very much of a living just building saddles. So yeah, repair work was what I did. I did lots of it.
Kind of a total teardown like this, or was there other parts that were?
Oh no, very seldom do you do a complete teardown like that because it's cost prohibitive.
Mhm.
You know, that what you were saying about generally we wouldn't repair a saddle like this, and generally you wouldn't do a complete repair on a saddle like this. You might put a new pair of stirrup leathers on, or maybe line the skirts. But to buy a saddle like this, you could probably go to a horse sale and buy a saddle like this for $50.
Mm-hmm. There's even some new saddles that are mass produced that you're only spending $300 on.
Yeah, I mean, but you folks out there, you know, you might want to see what the whole process is and why you wouldn't want to repair a saddle like this. And do a lot
Or maybe you would.
and do a lot of work on it. But like you said, you know, this saddle has some sentimental value, so we're going to go ahead and do it. And it boils down to the old adage, if you got the money, I got the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
We make a video every week, so we got to fill it with something.
Yeah. I don't know. This is a pretty tedious chore, what you're doing right now, but it's something that needs to be done when you reline the skirts. And ideally, when you stitch these skirts back on, you want to go back into the same stitch holes.
Marcus is saying up there, wait, is this not a... This isn't a bar stool. But you know, over at the hat bar at PFI, they got some saddles up there on stools. So I think
those saddles.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
I need to tell my daughter that. She'll want to sit in them even more than we already do.
I didn't build the saddles, but I put them on the stools. They were just some old junky saddles, you know, that we bought and kind of shined up good. And attached them to those stools.
Now they are like bar stools.
Yeah.
So technically, if we put this on a stool, we could call it a bar stool.
Sure.
And we're recovering it. We're putting some new skirts on it. We can bring this back around. Abigail's going to have to be mad. She's going to have to go in and fix all the YouTube things so people aren't confused whenever they click on it later.
Well, the way I look at it, life is mass confusion.
I mean, if you're getting mad at a YouTube video, I got a lot more of the things I could be mad about.
Sure.
About my belly growling, stun. Oh, did you look at the pile on the floor?
Well, we'll look at the water.
Yeah, that's the water bucket we're going to be using.
Chevy guy says, how about false advertising? Well,
listen, Chevy.
There's nothing false about this.
It's not. We just talked about how we made this into a bar stool.
Yeah.
Put it on a rack, set it at a hat bar.
Okay, let's look at the front side.
Okay.
What kind of? I'll tell you what. While you get the other side, lining up the other side, I'll pick these stitches. Start on it.
Don't pick your nose, and don't pick your friend's nose, but pick your stitches.
Pick your stitches.
Okay, got it. Let's see if I can get mean with this side and rip most of this stuff out of the way. Do we need this skirting anymore?
No.
Let me just toss it in the trash. So this is the part, the girl that had this saddle is, she's a trick rider on my daughter's team and the coach. This was her saddle when she was little. We talked about having them in there and doing some nose bands. Abigail says she's all upset.
Oh, Abigail.
She's gonna have to take the afternoon off and cry about it, I assume.
You could come in and give us what for.
Yeah, you could. She was here on Monday. You're gonna have to change her days coming in so she can actually say hello to you. I bet it's because she doesn't like hanging out with you.
Yeah, probably.
That's the kind of person she is. I bet she's got mad at a YouTube video once or twice.
Her own.
Her own video. And, our videos when I do the wrong thing. She's stuck answering the questions. Oh, you remember last week when we started and I didn't have the sound on when we started back?
Mm-hmm.
Have to apologize for that. Went back and edited it, so now you don't have to get all started up. And then we had a guy ask how we, what our camera set up and all of our setup, and maybe people don't realize how much goes into putting together a live. I mean, recording the video is a lot, but when you get into live videos, there's a lot more going on.
You know, I think we ought to take this time and just make a blanket apology for all past mistakes and future mistakes.
Okay.
Because they're coming.
Take this apology and apply it where needed. Because if we didn't mean it. Didn't mean it. And if you're excited or you're thankful for what we're doing, you're welcome. You can. It's a blanket. You're welcome too.
Yeah.
Kevin gets on the chats and he does comment and say thank you and answer questions. We did get figured out that we need to have more question and answer with you and him. People did like that.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, we might be better off
Just
trying to take these stitches out after the skirts are flattened and still a little bit damp. So I think that's what I'm doing.
You're the expert here.
Well, I'm not. There's never a cut and dried answer to this stuff, you guys. Sometimes it's easier to do things than other times, and sometimes it's impossible to do them, period. You know,
Did you do any saddle making for the movies?
No.
Not that you know of. They didn't
No.
say.
I never made a saddle for a movie, I don't think.
Didn't you
I'll
make
tell you what.
Didn't you make a saddle for a president? Not a U.S.
No.
president, the Mexico or the mayor of Mexico City or something like that.
Yeah, when I was working for the saddle maker in Cody for Keith Saddle, we made a saddle for a fella, and he gave it to the president of Mexico at that time.
Thomas Beckett has a question, Denny. Before you tell your story, he asked, "What's the best way to get ink off the leather? Don't put it on there."
Yeah, paint over it. Once you penetrate the pores of a piece of leather, it's there. You can't reverse osmosis.
Oxalic acid won't take that out.
No. Oxalic acid won't. About all it will do is clean the metal stain. But any kind of a like ink or an oil, oil stain of any sort, it's not going to take that out. You can't get those out. There's nothing that I'm aware of. Someone might make a liar out of me, but I'm pretty old and I've been trying this for quite a while and I've never found anything that would take that out. I'm going to leave those in. We'll take them out. We'll work on that after they're flattened out and damp.
Abigail said she has no problem. She'll change the YouTube cover for us. Hopefully she'll do the Facebook cover one too.
Our saddles, like Lil Fear says, our saddles hand sewn or machine sewn?
Yes.
The answer to that is yes. Parts are hand sewn. The back cantle, or the Cheyenne roll as Tony called it, and the horn cannot be sewn on a machine.
That would be quite a trick to do that horn on.
It would be. People have tried it. And I've seen saddles that they've sewn the seat and the cantle binding together and then slipped them over the cantle itself, and you can do that, but it doesn't look very good, and it's not very dependable later on in the saddle's life. It's pretty loose. But those two things you've got to stitch on a machine or on by hand. The rest of it you can stitch on a machine.
We'll put these skirts on back by a machine.
Yeah.
A lot of my stitching come out on the back side.
Well, that's good.
I think my wrench edger here is getting.
Yeah, it gets dull when
I've gone quite a distance on it. Plus, it's a little bit tough with this. This leather has seen a couple days.
Yeah, when the leather gets real brittle, everything's dried out like that. It's pretty hard to do.
That's why you got to condition all your leather. Whether it's a ball glove, whether it's a wallet, whether it's your saddle. Clean and condition. One of the toughest things on it. I mean, it does good taking the dirt and grime, but when it dries out and that dirt and grime sits on there,
Yeah.
rough on it.
Yeah. You gotta Dry is the worst thing for a piece of leather. If a piece of leather was wet continuously, it would last longer than a piece of leather that is dry continuously.
Just like your skin. I mean, you put lotion on your skin, don't you?
Sure.
What do you think about that?
All right. I think just leave that alone. And what we want to do now, we're not gonna straighten out the seat like this, but the back jockeys,
okay,
and these front jockeys,
okay,
and the skirts, I think you need to dip them in the water tank.
Do we need to sweep our table off here?
I can do that while you're.
I wonder if we can try to sweep it in our trash can. Here, look at, okay, or you can use a brush if you want.
Okay.
Here, I'm pretty handy with the brush. I ain't scared. That's what everybody tuned in to watch. How to sweep dirt off your table.
Well, saddle repair is a dirty job. And someone's got to do it. Today it's Tony.
I think I did the last one too, didn't I?
Probably. Probably.
All right. Do we want to do our fenders?
Yeah, but let's get those in and let them start to soak.
Okay.
Because that leather, it's got kind of a sheen on it, so it'll probably take a little bit for it to actually.
Do I need to take out these pieces?
No,
I
just leave those in.
So I just need to dip it down in there?
Yeah, we just put them in the water and dip them down in there. The idea is we want to get it wet.
Okay. Get my jockeys in there. One skirt, and then my other skirt's kind of in pieces.
Set it in there. It's apparent how it was put together, so it won't be hard.
Yeah, and if it is, we'll just cut a whole new skirt.
Yeah. Okay. Let's work on your stirrup.
Okay. We'll pull that. We can pull them back over here. So we decided that the stirrup leathers are probably good enough for what we're doing. We probably don't need to repair them.
I don't know. We got to repair the stirrup, or the fender itself. So
we were talking about this. Used to be a loop piece, but they riveted to it, and that when the stirrup leather stretched, it tore that. So it probably shouldn't have been riveted there.
Right. So let's just, I'll tell you, let's just take the rivets out of this.
Out of that?
Yeah.
I got your. We're not going to do that with a French edger.
No. Let's use this bench iron. This got a little hole in it. Most of your anvils that you have will have a little hole.
Were you here that day? Sorry to interrupt you.
I don't know.
But I got a story about it. I was setting a double cap rivet, and somehow I had set it right over the top. But when I set it, it just went straight through that little bitty hole.
I've done that before, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, that's something we got in common, Denny. It must be a master craftsman type of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right, these are split rivets, which means they just kind of split and star over. So I'm just putting them over that hole, and I'm going to drive them back through.
Did this come with a hole in it, or did you use a...
It came with a hole in it. I've had this bench iron for 35 years, I think. And I forget even where I got it, but it had the hole in it. I didn't know enough to put a hole in it, so it had to have one.
Yeah, we got Picky F says, hello from Sedalia. Made my first trip to the store, and wow, I am a junkie now. Would love to see a video of putting Clayton putting chatons on a purse, maybe. Not sure what.
Clayton probably knows.
Clayton probably does know. Maybe those little crystals is what she's talking about. Liz probably knows what she's talking about. Nelson Morales says, glad to you finally have found you live. Greetings from Lima, Peru.
Wow.
Great to have you here.
Cool. They have saddles down there in Peru. That's a joke because I've seen some Peruvian saddles.
Look at you. Peruvian saddles.
Was that amazing?
I'm just surprised at some of the things you say sometimes, Denny. A man of many talents.
Did you see how I got that rivet out?
Yeah, you drove a hole through it and then used your man muscles to... That one didn't... Split didn't come back out the other way.
All right. Now then, let's get this little deal here and trim this fender off kind of half.
You want to do it
Where
this way?
it
You want
doesn't
to do
look too bad.
You want to do it that way so it lays flat? Okay.
This way.
Round knife master here.
Okay, what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna get my hands out of the way.
I'm just kind of trying to straighten this off where it doesn't have a big hooska there. Hooska, you know that word?
A big hooska. Yeah, Dean. Lots of people thought it was going to be a bar stool today, but this saddle could be turned into a bar stool if you want, and then we are fixing it. Things
Okay.
happen, Dean. We got all out of sorts with your money belt that we did, and then I jumped a week ahead, and I'm taking the blame. My apologies.
I'm going to go get a oval punch or an oblong punch.
Do you want me to bevel these or anything?
Sure, if you want to, you can bevel
You
them.
think just a number 2?
Yeah, bigger.
Well, I don't have.
the biggest one, probably.
Well, okay, there'll probably be a number 5 then. I always do something wrong. This week it was scheduling the video incorrectly, or I didn't schedule it. Abigail scheduled it. She did it right. I read the calendar wrong. Oh well. Hey Chad,
Yes.
we have some new friends in the room.
Yeah, we can go. Yeah.
You can say hi, or you can walk over if you want. There's sound panels in the way.
Oh. Got a couple new folks on our team.
Yeah.
I'll probably see them in here more.
Got Nick.
Howdy.
Hey Nick. Got one of our mustard yellow shirts on.
Yeah, no, I like this one. It's a very unique color.
Unique is one way to put it. Other people would put it different ways. And I told them to just be quiet because I like the color of it.
I like it. I think yellow and navy goes good together.
It does.
Yeah, yep.
Goes really good together.
Yes, sir. I hope so. It's our brand.
Yeah. So we got Nick on the team. Nick started with us on Monday.
Yes, sir.
Going to see some things coming out. Going to be helping out in some print media.
Some creative ways, design ways, yeah, all kinds of stuff. So.
Nick, you were in a band drumming along, drum-a-lumming, weren't you?
I was in several bands, yeah. I've for about 9 years professionally, yeah. I think 17 years I've been playing music. So.
Nice. What's a band that somebody might have heard of that you were a part of? Can you say it or no?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I don't think it matters.
I mean, we're world famous here on SLC YouTube.
Yeah, I played in Tantric for a while.
Nice.
They're pretty well known, but yeah, and some other local stuff. So he was just introducing me.
All right.
I'll get out of your way.
Excuse me.
Star, did you wanna come say hello? Okay.
You need to.
Real parent.
Your video appearance. Welcome to the party. Stara, welcome to the team. She started Monday as well.
A star is born.
Yeah. Yep.
Probably never heard that before. Right?
I've actually done that one before.
So I think you're going to be helping out with some of the patterns and stuff like that, and the R&D and getting new stuff going up.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Some signage, things like that.
Yeah. So far, I've been designated as the sign lady.
Nice. Well, what did you do before you came here? Did you play in a band as well?
No, I'm not musically talented at all.
Yeah.
I had taken a break from working for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I was ready to come back and I wanted to do something that was art heavy. And I really lucked out with this place. So.
There you go. Well, welcome to the team. Nelson says, watching your videos, I've done my first projects. So thank you for and loving and sharing what you do.
Nelson's
Welcome to the group.
Nelson's the one from
Thanks.
Lima.
Yeah, he's from Peru. I'm sure he's probably using maybe some translator or maybe the Y got in the way of the J. All right. I beveled it a little bit.
All right, very good. Now, I'm going to do this from the back side too.
Or do we can probably hang it off the side if you want. I don't know. Does that get you what you need?
If I can get up there far enough. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm back here in the meat of
So we don't
that
tear it
fender.
again?
We don't want to tear it again. But I've got a feeling if this wouldn't have been riveted to that stirrup leather to begin with, This might help.
You could use your steel too if you wanted.
Good, let's do that.
I thought you were going to set that right on your round knife. I was going to be so sad for you. But let me make sure my punch is not under my thumb. Dean asked, I got to find someone to sew zippers on. Do we do that? Well, I don't think that's not a safe enough question. Do we do it? Yes.
As a company, we do not, but there are some people that work here that would probably do it for you.
That was what I was going to say. Springfield Leather, yes, we do sew them. We have the capability, but it's not an add-on that we offer. But like I said, we got people that work that do side projects and things like that that would take on that job.
Are you from out of town or are you local?
Dean was our money belt guy.
Ah, Dean.
You ran off? What did you go do when you ran off?
Got this.
Oh. Did you have to forge it?
Yeah, I had to make it.
Okay, I was going to say, you were gone for a minute.
Well, I had to use it a few times to make sure it works. You know?
Polish it back up. Piece of shooting across the table. Now, I saw you measured our stirrup leather. Oh, that was to figure out how big of a hole we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't need to dip these in the water. These seem to be... We'll just clean them up.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we can finish these. We can finish those today.
I think once we get them wet with this liquid glycerin saddle soap, that it'll get them a little bit wet enough.
Yeah.
So we have the 16-ounce bottle here, but I know that I filled it up with the... we have a gallon, and
Yeah,
I filled it back up. Filled it back up. Get mean with it. I knew you had it in you.
I could have knocked these out over this hole too.
But then we couldn't see in your sheer strength.
Sheer incredible hulkness.
Denny all going Incredible Hulk on him. All right, we'll set that stuff
you
up.
know what else we need? Some rivets.
Oh, because we got to rivet that. What kind of rivets you want to use on it? You want to use copper? Copper? Rivets and burrs?
They would be the best. Copper, rivet, and burrs would definitely be the
Got a cute little flower on there.
Yeah.
What tool? What tool is that? Do you know what that is?
That's just a rope tool or
Yeah.
a rope border tool.
And then
Cute little flower.
cute
Like
little
you
flower.
said. Okay. So if we're gonna do this, let me go get some rivets.
Let me clean.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to move your tools out of the way so
Yeah.
I don't clean them. So all I'm going to do is just spray some saddle soap on it and then just wipe them with a shearling. Are you good with that?
Yep.
Okay. I was going to spray both sides of them down here.
So that's typically what they're working on, Tony.
Okay. You got a list of stuff?
Oh, yeah.
You going to read it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll put it up there and then I'll read it.
So I just give you the context.
What's the context of getting ready to go on my board here?
Mhm.
I appreciate that, Chad. Who's all disappointed that we're not doing bar stools? All right. So if you are always inconsistent on what you're doing, does that make you consistent? Consistently inconsistent? Is that a thing? Yes. So I'm still consistent. What I like to hear. All right. Chevy guys doing minor belt repair and condition and then finishing wallet edges. Dean is trying to find a zipper sewer. Yeah, Terry here. She I don't know what her workload looks right now for side work, but she is pretty good with zippers. So this is going to clean it just a little bit, just get that dirt off of it. Not going to get all of it out just because it has a finish on it, but it's also going to add some conditioning down in there. Lanolin, I think, is what Denny likes to say, because that's what it's got in it.
That?
Does it have lanolin in it?
No, that's just mostly glycerin, but the paste saddle soap has a lot of lanolin in it. The glycerin saddle soap is used for a cleaner more than anything else.
Not going to really condition it, just
No,
it just
won't, yeah.
make it a little more supple, but
Right.
make it less dry all the way through.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Kai Rill, Springfield Leather Biker Wallets, nice, stamped today with Sergey stamps and a few wallet covers. Tori Jones, leather work on my table. She's gonna make a top hat, like the black and red one owned by CC DeVille. Make an Aussie hat and make a cloak from the black nubuck that she got on the live shopping. We were selling black nubuck for a whole side. It was like 22 feet, 22 to 25 feet for $45. You need some? I got one.
Yeah, that's all we need some.
And then
For
Chad,
$45.
I'm not going to even try your other name there, but Clutch, Coasters and a Belt, Joe Stark, he wanted bar stools. Dadgummit. Next week.
We'll do bar stools, Joe.
I got leather picked out. It's over, it's somewhere. All right, I'll quit toying around with those.
All right.
I got leather for a bar stool. We got a
Clean
bar
these
stool.
a little bit
Okay.
too while you're at it.
All right. I'm going to spray my sheet.
Yeah, that's the way I do it.
Just pull it on through.
Yeah, pull it through.
Pull it on through to the other side. As long as I don't sing too much of it or too good, we won't get any copyright infringement. Got to be careful though. When I start singing, Nick will start drumming on his desk over there.
You have to worry about the lab part. You don't have to.
Oh, I don't have to sing?
We don't have to worry about it being good.
Oh, wow. I've never heard you sing, Chad. At least I'll do it on camera. Freaking scaredy cat.
Not me. The dogs start howling if I sing.
I know, so I got to keep it. That's why the room is soundproof, so Opal and the other dogs out there don't hear it. Heather Hill, so many projects scattered around: dog collars, holsters, belt key fobs. Yikes!
That's good, Heather. Have a lot of projects.
Yeah, that way you can sound busy all the time. Well, what did you get finished? I'm just working all the time.
I have never finished anything, but I work on a whole lot of stuff.
Never finished anything. I just tootling around the whole time. No, I've seen a couple things. I think it was hers. Listen to that ring. Sorry, I get easily distracted. Dean says he likes bar stools. Okay, I got it.
Sure you do, Dean.
How much grief have I gotten in the chat today, Chad?
I actually haven't put all of them on there.
No more than normal.
You're par for the course.
Even if I didn't make mistakes, people still give me grief. That's okay. I dish it out. All the time. That's why we have a Denny burn, and usually it's Denny burning me. Nelson says, working on collars, cuffs, leather mask, about to make his first order online in the next few days, and wait for my cousin coming to Peru, to bring them. So that's a way to save on shipping. Have family come visit from the U.S. and bring leather. One of the things, talking about shopping online, Denny, is we put a customer notes section there before you put in your order in your shopping cart. Mm-hmm. And that's to let us know what you're working on in it, so that when we go to cut your leather, that we can make that decision better. It's a lot of trust to put in a company to buy leather online, and especially for us that are cutting it.
Well, and we get a lot of grief too from people when a lot of people don't. They tell us to use our own judgment.
Right, and then we use it.
And it's not what they thought. It's hard for us to read someone else's mind, and see the vision that they have a lot of times.
Right, so if you spell out what you're doing, or hey, I'm making wallet backs with this, man, we're not going to cut you a a square foot piece out of the belly. We may get it out of a better place to help make you a little more successful in what you're doing.
Right.
Dean says no singing. You say that every time, Dean, and I never listen. So today's not going to be any different.
Okay, now what I've done here, I'm not going to use the same holes that were in this leather.
Okay.
Because they've already, the leather was dried out and they've checked around those holes. So I'm making a brand new hole here. And I'm not going to rivet the bottom of this stirrup leather.
You're just going to let it slide through.
Yeah, we'll just rivet the top. And I'm going to,
So I think our other ones were down here. You're going to move it.
yeah.
You're going to move it into.
We're moved down because, I don't know why, but all these older saddles, they had a whole bunch of stirrup leather sticking out here. You know, and when your stirrups on there and this is buckled up, this is way up under the kid's knee. You know, so
Right.
So I'm going to change that a little bit, shorten that.
So you can try to get it closer down by their foot.
Yeah, I want it. I can get the stirrup in there pretty good, right, like it is. And this goes through this loop.
And it gives you a little better.
Plenty of room there.
This spot here is not checked so bad. It's going to sit on that stirrup.
Right.
If we put it right back where it was, where it's dried out and not been conditioned.
Yeah, we're just changing things a little bit, getting some fresh leather there.
Charles Abbott says he's working on notebooks, wallets, briefcase, satchel, and a lady's bag today. I'm taking bets on how long it takes Denny to play Whack-A-Tony. I don't think you've ever hit me once.
No, I haven't whacked you yet.
So today might be a new day.
Okay, I'm using a number 9 rivet here. But this 1/2 inch is not long enough, so what did I do?
It's not breaking on through to the other side.
Yeah. I guess the only other one I have here is 3/4.
Man, that softened it up really nice.
Yeah. But when it dries out, now it's going to
It'll harden back up.
It'll stiffen back up. But then before we put everything back together, we're going to put a coat of neatsfoot oil on it. And then we're going to use paste saddle soap on it as a conditioning finish.
But even though that it hardens up, it's going to be conditioned throughout it. Because that saddle soap we sprayed on it soaked in, and that other saddle soap that we put in there, neatsfoot oil, is going to soak in and condition it quite a bit. Now, since you're using a number 9, you're using a number 9 setter.
Yes. That's quite important.
How much do you leave here when you go to clip this off?
About
a 16th
of an inch. You can leave more if you want. You don't want to clip it off too short because you won't be able. There's nothing left to rivet over.
Now I know you have a way that you do this.
Yeah, a lot of people use this dome part of the rivet setter right now, but I like to.
I can tell you, Denny does this every single time. He'll flatten it back out, then he'll dome it over, and even sometimes then he's got his other side. He'll dome it over. Even sometimes after he domes it over, he'll tap it a little bit because there might be still a little bit of a burr on the top.
Might be. But I've got this actual rivet domer. I like to dome these rivets. Makes them not wear quite as bad.
Now, since we went with rivet and burr, it was a single cap rivet before, but now since we went to that copper rivet and burr, it's going to be stronger than that.
Yeah, the rivet itself is stronger. Plus, there's more bearing surface on this cap.
Mm-hmm.
It creates a better.
So we can go back with 1 instead of going back with 2. All right.
Right.
1 done.
Now we'll do the same thing to this one.
Okay. I noticed Denny said "yet" on Whacking Tony.
Yeah, it's coming.
It'll be here.
Maybe. I don't know. Sometimes there's better opportunities than others.
We'll see how it plays out. I haven't reserved anything yet.
No, not yet.
But the day is still young.
Yet is
Do we
always
sell the rivet domer?
No, we don't. You can make one. I've known people that made them out of just a nut screwed on the end of a bolt. about the same size as the head of the rivet, or a lot of times what are they? A domed rivet setter, which by a domed rivet I mean like a domed double cap rivet. A lot of those are about the right size.
Sorry, you should have asked me if that tool was worth its weight, and it's not. We have tools up here for show, not for use. But
Yeah, but you can make that one work.
you manned up on it. Where did you get yours? Did you make yours?
My rivet setter?
Yeah.
Mine
Your
is an
domer?
antique. I mean, a real antique. It's probably good.
One of the very first ones when people started working with leather is when it was made.
Well,
They made it especially
in the
for you.
1800s, for sure. Yeah, they made it especially for me back in the 1800s. I'm old, you guys, but I'm not.
Not quite that far yet.
No.
Okay.
I have seen the centuries change, I'll say that.
Well, I can say that too.
I guess you can.
It just wasn't from the 1800s to the 1900s.
If you're over 21, you can say that. Now what I do in my rivet setter.
You can use this one that I have
How about
covered up
that
with my hand.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. If it wasn't so fun, you wouldn't do videos.
I know.
Set it on there, lift it back up, level it back out.
Yeah,
Chop
and
it
it depends on what you're using to clip it with. I could also clip it with these side cutters, you know, but
Copper is a little bit easier to clip than the brass one.
brass is a lot harder.
A lot tougher metal. We need
I
to
always
look
feel
again.
these and make sure there's not a sharp edge there.
And this part isn't going to be on the. It's going to be up underneath the saddle, so it's not going to be
Yes.
hitting the horse anyway.
That's right, but that sharp edge could wear out part of your skirt, maybe.
Yeah.
Or if you reach your hand up in there,
It'll cut you.
it could cut you. Yes. All right, those are done. Those are ready. Now what have we got? Oh, the seat.
I didn't bring your
The stand.
your saddle stand over here, but
Okay, what you want to do, since we're going to put in a new padded seat,
so we had this sitting here, and we did the same thing as we did before, and I took that French edger through there, or I might have taken your knife and cut those stitches out, and they might have just ripped because they were pretty dry.
but this one, the stitch line, we aren't going to worry about too much. Maybe in the front we'll pick those stitches. But when I put in a new padded seat or a quilted seat, I like to make it a bit bigger than the original, just to make sure I cover everything up, and you won't be going through the same holes anyway.
You get a little more meat, or better meat.
But right now, you've got to get that seat completely off the saddle.
Yeah, so I already pulled the staples that were there, nailed on back here, and then the same on the other side. And I think all I lack is just pulling away the glue part.
And it pulls some of that padding away. But I think when we
Do I
put
need to pull this padding off?
yeah. And I think we will probably go over this with a piece of foam rubber when all's said and done.
Okay. This still looks pretty good back here.
Yeah.
Still pretty good looking.
Mm-hmm. And you can clean that up, and when you get it good and wet, you can curl these seat jockeys back down. You can kind of cup them around where they aren't just sticking out like a pair of
How do I want?
dove wings. Just saddle soap it good.
Okay.
Clean that real good.
Are we done with this part?
We're done with this part for right now. Just leave that alone.
So what do we got? What do we got here? I guess
That's the ground seat, and we aren't going to do anything to that.
there's mesh and stuff on there. Is that from the padding that was there before?
No, that's the tree cover. They'll either, these older saddle trees, the tree is wood, and you can either cover them with rawhide, or these, they kind of covered them with kind of a cheesecloth stuff. Nowadays, they fiberglass cover a lot of trees.
So you're not really doing anything. You're just using it right on there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we aren't going to do anything to that.
I'll probably clean this up off camera, get this other dirt. There's nothing else really that we're going to do with this other than just clean it.
Yeah, because the rigging's on there pretty good and solid. I don't see any Well, there's a rivet we'll need to replace there.
We can do that, but even
Yeah.
those tie
That's fine.
look pretty good. This one's a little bit.
I wouldn't do anything with it.
I mean, it's thinner, but
yeah,
not in too bad a
it's
shape.
in good shape.
All right. So I just want to spray this down and clean that up. We need to find a rivet domer that we can sell since we use it.
We do. I meant to tell you, you can go Bob Douglas in Wyoming. I believe he's in Wyoming. He sells a rivet domer. He sells a whole set of rivet setters.
Yeah.
You know, that has it's a 3-piece set, but it includes a domer.
I'm just gonna let this sit a minute, and let it soak in there.
While you're doing that, we could go to the front of this table and get those parts out.
Okay.
Get them in the press.
Okay.
Yeah, let that soak for a little bit.
All right,
That'd
we'll let
be
that-
good.
Let that sit a minute. We got some wood pieces here. We want to set them out on the floor.
Let's do it up on. Well, yeah. Where are we gonna leave it?
Probably leave it on the floor.
On the floor? Okay, let's see.
Nothing special about our wood
Yeah, just a piece of plywood.
that fits the size parts of it.
These are good and wet. And they need to be wet. I'm gonna put them together. Put them just exact opposite.
Let's see, here's the other part of that one. Oh, will you slide out in front just a little bit? You may be sitting in front of the camera there. Oh, this other way. Slide. That was that little flat piece that went on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm gonna put this one board on top of those skirts.
Okay.
And,
There's your back jockey.
When we put it all back together, we'll saddle something good.
All right. Clean the big parts of dirt off.
I'm just kind of straightening these back up a little bit. Put the press on them. The press, it's a pretty complicated piece of machinery.
Yeah, 3 pieces of wood.
3 pieces of wood and a bucket of water.
So the bucket that we cleaned them in, to give us some added weight, we can go like this.
And tomorrow, we'll take them off the press and put them in, put them out flat, let them dry back out.
Okay.
And then when we come back on Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday.
On
Friday.
we'll saddle soak them up and
Yeah, so-
relight the skirts,
The only weight that we're using is just the weight of a.
weight of the water.
Weight of the
That's all
water.
we need.
I mean, if the boards are flat, it's gonna, that little bit of pressure is gonna do it there. All right,
That's all there is to it for now.
let's see what we can do with this seat over here.
Yeah, I would just take the seat, see how it's flared out, you know, like a set of bird wings.
Yeah, I don't know if we can look at that top camera
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll just take and cut these inside.
Rolling back down.
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
Anthony,
was this the video that you were expecting to see?
this looks like fun.
It was not bar stools. So
Yeah, just,
that happened.
yeah, if we could just leave them like this, that would be good. Because when we put it back on the saddle.
Let me scrubble up on them a little bit though.
All right.
You care if I scrub some dirt off
No,
of it?
you go right ahead.
That's the tiniest saddle.
It is.
What kind of horse did that go on?
You can go on a regular size horse.
There were miniature ponies at the Finley River
Did you want to come over here
this
so
weekend.
everybody can see your smiling face?
Oh, am I smiling?
Not yet, but you will be when you get a camera.
You have to when you get over here.
Hey,
All right.
everybody. Welcome. Tony, looks like you're cleaning stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often. Hopefully my wife's not watching today.
He does know how to scrub the dishes.
I did the dishes. Actually, we didn't have dishes last night. I did them at my mom's house because we went over there.
Very nice. Very
Yeah. Hey, Wayne's got a question for you there, Denny.
Why don't tree builders incorporate a ground seat instead of the saddle maker installing one? Some tree makers do. The Rawhide company that makes those poly trees, the ground seat is built in. The main reason that you would want to build a ground seat is because you can shape it the way you want to for different purposes and for different size seats, and just people are different, you know.
Every
So-
butt's unique.
Yeah, every butt is unique. That's right.
That's my contribution
Yeah.
for today. I'm out.
That's it. That's all she's
All
got.
I got.
Well, it was a great attitude
Yeah,
that you
I'm gonna
had.
go keep reviewing the machine guide.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for stopping by.
Good. We'll see you.
Good to see you, Liz. Did you see her pirate boots that she had
Yes,
on today?
those are cool.
Yeah. Tori Jones says we need to put something on top of the water so I don't drop leather in it tomorrow for the live shopping.
We probably ought to do that.
We can probably drag it out of the way. If we took the water off the top and moved it in a
Yeah.
different location, so it's not gonna be that big of a thing. Do I need to try to find something to?
Yeah, if we just had a big rubber band.
Hey, you know where?
Piece of string.
I have a big piece of rubber band on that camera tripod. You see it there? Up towards the top underneath the camera. See it there? Man. We're way more prepared when Denny's in here than we are at any other point. Bada bing, bada boom.
That's because I don't like to run.
Yeah, I don't either. What if I can try to pull these stitches out while we just find something else to do?
You could.
What time is it? Oh, it's been about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said we were going to use these, right?
Yeah, just the ones in the front there are the only ones that need to come out.
Yeah, that ain't. When I tried to poke it out, it just ripped the thread again.
I wouldn't worry about it too much. After it's dry, we'll just take the French edger and cut them off flush. And
All right. Is there a catalog number for the press? Yep. 123-WOOD.
yeah, big box lumber.
Yeah, you could probably even cut a tree down in your backyard,
Yeah.
cut you some logs out, then you can use that. That's about what we got. I mean, I can clean up that other deal. I don't know how we fit that into hours so perfectly.
I don't either, but it did work out pretty good.
Yeah, we've done it a time or two. So we'll let this dry. We'll let that soak,
Yeah,
or that get flat, get somewhat dry. It's not getting fully dry because it does have the wood that's kind of helping some of the moisture stay in. But
yeah, it'll still be wet tomorrow morning, but we can take it out of the press tomorrow morning and just leave it,
okay.
lay it out flat somewhere. And let
So we'll pull that out,
it
lay that out, let it dry some more. Then we'll clean it, saddle soap it, and condition it, or will we start putting it back together?
We'll put the new lining in it first,
Okay.
and then you can clean it and condition it.
I guess
If you get it you don't want it real limber when you're putting the
that one
lining in it.
little piece that goes on there, we might have to stitch that top part on, and then when that skirt goes on down, we can do that other part. Always thinking ahead.
Yep.
Well, we'll do it again on Wednesday. Tomorrow we do have live shopping. Next week is going to be a bar stool for everybody that's just beside themselves with me.
So disappointed.
I know.
What are you working on Friday?
We're doing this again. We got to finish the
You said
saddle.
Wednesday.
Okay. Friday, not Wednesday. If you heard Wednesday, just skip over that part that you already watched. Pretend you didn't hear it. Forget what you heard. This Friday, we're going to finish this up and get it put back together a little bit more.
We hope.
That's somewhat of a plan, but you know how plans work out.
Yeah.
Not very well.
Might be we get the skirts relined.
We could get the skirts relined, then maybe we'll do
And
some
maybe
other.
the new seat fit. We'll see.
See what
We'll
happens.
do what we can. we might do part of it between now and then and show you guys or tell you guys what we've done.
Yeah. Yep. If you want to hang out a little bit longer, we're going to be on Twitch for just a little bit longer. Look at some things, talk about some stuff, see what's going on. Maybe talk with new people. Maybe we'll pull some other employees in here. I don't know. I don't know what anybody's doing out there. We'll see what happens. But we will see you tomorrow for live shopping on Facebook if you want to join at 2 p.m. Central. If not, we'll see you back here on Friday.
Thanks a lot, folks.
See ya.